Hello everyone, the Army of Otters here, and welcome back to the Unexplored Mojave. Today we're going to be looking at the NCR Police Headquarters, along with the NCR Embassy located on the New Vegas Strip. Now this was recommended to me by Vic Round Cricket, who, like I mentioned before, wanted me to cover all of the locations on the New Vegas Strip that I had yet to cover. So now that we are at the NCR Embassy, I believe we are pretty much finished at the Strip, with only Vault 21 to talk about, and we will talk about that later in a different series. So, for now, let's jump into the NCR Embassy. So, upon approaching the embassy, you'll be confronted with this gate, and you can simply go inside, and there are two buildings. One is the actual embassy, and one is the police headquarters. Now, there are some trees growing here in this courtyard, which I thought were very pretty. Something you don't see very often within Fallout New Vegas. At the entrance to the NCR Police HQ, the military police, we can find a locked terminal, along with a soldier who was typing on a terminal that is not working. So he's just typing nothing, I guess, just to look busy. Obviously, a sign as to why the NCR is failing. Now, inside this jail cell, we have two people. One is a gambler and one is a traveler. I don't know what they did, but over in this corner we can find a strip letter which reads, Private Jackson. This is the last time I take your advice. I went to the bar at the Gomorrah, like you said. I got pissed drunk, kicked out after getting too friendly with the dancers, fell into the gutter and puked all over myself before being picked up by some MPs. Next thing I know, I'm waking up in the drunk tank 2 days later. Thanks for wasting my pass, jerk. Private Daniels. And then in the back of the MP police building, we can find a hard-locked door, which will take us to the Armory. And there's some ammunition and stuff within the Armory that might be good if you're a lower-level player. However, to me, it wasn't really worth risking negative reputation with the NCR. Supposedly, there is a stealth boy inside of the Armory, but I could not find it. So if you know where it is, put it in the comments below. And on the locked terminal, there wasn't a whole lot besides some security notices about the New Vegas Strip. Then heading across to the embassy building, we will find we are greeted by a secretary and along with some NCR soldiers. Also, there appears to be planters at the entrance, which I thought was interesting, but there's no plants inside of them. Inside the offices on the left-hand side of the building, we can find these ambassador final reports, which offer some interesting insight on the situation on the Strip. The first one from Phillip Granger reads, Final report, Ambassador Phillip Granger. With my term here coming to a close, I'm taking a moment to reflect on my accomplishments here. Sadly, they are few and far between. The politics between the families and Mr. House have made it incredibly difficult to deal with any of them. The Omertas are a group of sleazy lowlives pretending to be something they aren't. The White Glove Society gives me the creeps. There's something strange going on with them, and I'm not sure I want to know what it is. The chairmen are thugs that dress themselves up in fancy suits pretending to be cool. I'm surprised that they've lasted this long without killing each other, although it's probably due to Mr. House and his Securitrons. We have our work cut out for us here. I wish my term here was more fruitful than it was, but I'm glad to be returning to the NCR. Phillip Granger. So obviously we can get some insights into what is going on at the NCR as far as politics are concerned. There's also a locked terminal. However, there's not much on the terminal besides just some average normal things like with fiends that the player is probably already aware of. And then we can find another report from a previous ambassador. So it reads, Final report, Ambassador Susanna Edith. The past 2 years serving as the NCR ambassador to the Strip have been trying at best and downright horrid at worst. Living here in New Vegas has been horrible. The accommodations here are barely serviceable, which is a deliberate and malicious act by Mr. House to hinder the NCR's efforts here in New Vegas. On top, if that, I have constantly surrounded by drunken idiots who gamble away their money. My work here has been fruitless. I've been unable to get anywhere with Mr. House, or actually meet Mr. House, since all I have dealt with are Securitrons that only serve to frustrate me further. Still, after all this time, we have been unable to find common understanding between Mr. House and the NCR's goals for the area. I look forward to returning home to the NCR, and I wish my successor luck. You're going to need it, Susanna Edith. Obviously, in these reports, we can see that the NCR is really struggling with making any headway with Mr. House. Mr. House is not being very cooperative. Now, if you talk to Mr. House, he'll give a different story and suggest that the NCR wants to steal his place on the strip and take away power from him. Now, in the barracks, we can find strip letter 11, which reads, Private Irwin. If I hear of you pulling another prank on one of my troops that causes them to return to duty without their clothing fully intact, I will personally make sure you get transferred to Camp Forlorn Hope and don't come back. I'll be watching you, Lieutenant Asheville. And for those of you who don't know, these strip letters are littered all around New Vegas, and they just offer different interesting insights to different characters around New Vegas. However, none of the characters are connected or related. In this room, we had a sunset sarsaparilla lamp, along with a bed that we can sleep in, which I thought was very interesting. And in the cafeteria, we can find strip letter 9, which reads, Private Humphreys. This has been the best 3-day pass yet. I learned my lesson early and ditched the casinos for the girls at the Gomorrah. Now that is money well spent. You can't get that kind of service at Camp Golf. Going to sleep now while it's daylight and head back to the Gomorrah tonight for one last hoorah. Private Watkins. But besides that, there isn't a whole lot in the embassy. Now, normally, Ambassador Crocker is in here, who's the ambassador from the NCR to New Vegas. However, once you've decided to side with Mr. House, Yes Man, or the Legion, Ambassador Crocker will disappear, and we are unable to talk to him. So the ambassador reports that are found within the embassy offer some interesting insight on why the NCR is failing around New Vegas. They cannot negotiate with Mr. House, and they lack proper resources to do anything effectively. Some things to consider when you choose your faction in Fallout New Vegas. Meanwhile, the strip letters, which we can find here, offer some interesting insights to the lives of normal, everyday NCR soldiers. All of these letters really make the world feel a lot more lived in, and it makes the world feel a lot more real. It is one of the many reasons that Fallout New Vegas is such an amazing game. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any recommendations for the next location, please post them in the comments section below. And as always, until next time.